Hey guys, welcome back to the First Methodist Shreveport podcast. I'm here with First Methodist own Laurie Boswell, Executive Director of Holy Angels. How are you, Laurie?
Doing great, Corey. Thank you so much for having me today.
Absolutely. I'm excited about this. Holy Angels is near and dear to my heart, so I can't wait to hear about it.
Thank you.
Or learn more about it. So how did you get to be the Executive Director of Holy Angels?
Well, that's a great question, and it actually involves First Methodist, too.
Ah, nice.
So I went through a period of grief where, in about a 13-month period of time, I lost my mother, my father, my aunt, and my uncle. And so I basically lost my support system and all my mentors. And so as I began to go through that, starting the new year, I'm one that I like to set goals. So I was thinking about what can I do for the new year? And what can I do to honor my mother and the legacy of her life, where she was a great servant leader. She started the program in the magnet schools and strings, violin, cello, and at that time she was also teaching at some of the low-income schools, and so she told them, I will do the magnet program, but I have to keep my students at 81st Street and Atkins and other places. And so throughout my life, she focused on those students and helping them purchasing instruments, clothing, music, taking them to competitions. And I remember one day she lined them up and she said, all of you will go to college with a music scholarship because education is so important and your music is so important.
Wow.
And so I wanted to, I thought about my life as what can I do to give back and honor her legacy. So I called Dr. Day, who was our minister then, and I told him my desire to do something different. And he said, take your time, pray about it, don't do anything while you're grieving, a door will open. And so about March, one of my friends called me and said there's a job posted that's really almost everything you've done in your career combined. It's a melange of different things that I think could be your legacy.
Yeah.
And so it's just the story of having an angel that taps you on the shoulder, that intervenes, and of course, I was busy and I did not apply. 2 weeks later, she called me and she said, did you do that? And I said, no. And she said, you must do it. So I did. And the next thing I knew, I was there at Holy Angels, which I knew was doing something great in a beautiful place, but I wasn't exactly sure what good things were happening at Holy Angels, even though I had grown up in Shreveport.
And that's impressive because it sounds like your roots in Shreveport run pretty deep.
Yes, and through Methodism and this church, definitely.
Nice. And so what were you doing before the, call from Holy Angels came and you took that position?
Well, I had been working in various healthcare administrative roles, managing inpatient and outpatient rehab, geriatric psych. At that time, I was in Catholic healthcare working for Christus, doing strategic planning, public policy, and advocacy.
Yeah.
And so all of that plays a role in what I do today. And of course, I was initially educated as a teacher like my mother. So Holy Angels is a mixture of training. It's like a school. We do have a school now, but we do all types of things, not only in developing people's skill in the arts and different jobs, but educating them and training them on activities of daily living, and of course bringing them healthy lifestyles and exercise, healthy eating, and bringing joy and happiness to their life.
Yeah. Oh, that is an amazing mission to have and a great legacy you're going to leave behind for sure.
Well, thank you.
And so for folks who don't know about Holy Angels, or for people who, kind of like you said, they might know of Holy Angels, but they don't know all the great things they do. Can you, give like a 10,000-foot view of what Holy Angels is?
Yes, Holy Angels was established in 1965. It moved into independent status. At that time, From its creation to 2006, we were under the Catholic diocese. It was established by Bishop Greco and an order of sisters, Our Lady of Sorrows, that came from Italy.
Oh, wow.
And Bishop made a calling to those sisters to come to the U.S. and to help him serve individuals with disabilities. So, with three wonderful families of Shreveport, the O'Briens, the Pollards, and the Gilsters, they gave the original land, and we're on 64 acres of beautiful acreage in southeast Shreveport. We also have group homes in that neighborhood. And so today we function as an independent nonprofit. We are not affiliated with any particular denomination or faith. We're not listed as a faith-based organization, but we do honor our legacy of faith, and we constantly work on perpetuating that legacy and developing Christian leaders in our staff, and also teaching spiritual guidance and the Bible to the residents who are there.
Yeah. And so the residents, the people who come to Holy Angels, are people with mental disabilities like Down syndrome, and is it just
Autism.
Okay.
I mean, it is developmental disabilities. For us to serve you in residential care, you have a diagnosis of developmental or intellectual disability.
okay?
We have the residential program. We have about 180 individuals living in the group homes. Then we also have built a continuum of care for those as they age in place. So you start out in a high-functioning, very active group home doing all of your chores, your active out in the community. Many of them work in the community or work in our day program. And then we also have those that live in congregate settings who have more serious, complex needs like behavior management, pre-retirement, and then we have a retirement area that's almost like, I would say, long-term care, where these individuals we're serving them through the end of their life. Many of them have terminal illnesses, dementia, other things that they suffer from, or just were born with tremendously complex medical needs. So
wow.
we're unique in serving the U.S. and especially this region, and having a medical component on top of our training and education.
Yeah.
In about 2009, we formalized our day program, and so individuals that live in the community who are 18 or over, are those that are in our residential program who are able to come to the day program, where they really take part in job training and a variety of enterprises, and that's what we call Angel Works. And so our products and services are sold in the community, and the community has embraced that so well and so enthusiastic about it.
Yeah.
And then lastly, we started a couple of years ago a school called the Community School. And in our new school, we're serving children ages 2 through 21 with developmental delays. And so these may be children that maybe have autism or maybe not. Maybe they're just having a little difficulty in their classroom. We are working in partnership with early child care, with First Beginnings, with private and public schools. And so in some cases, they may come to our school, get extra help, and then a year or two later go back in the regular classroom. In other cases, they come and we help socialize them with potty training, effective behaviors in church. We help the family so that they can continue to live their life and not be isolated at home because of a child with behaviors, especially in public. So we help them, I guess, really assimilate into the community, and that's why we named it the Community School, because we're all about community integration.
And I love that. So it's not so much, well, at least as far as the community integration part, it's not so much that a kid who goes to that or a young person wouldn't have Down syndrome, but like you said, there's people who maybe don't have
Yeah.
those or need to develop those social skills and understanding of environments.
Yes, and there are a lot of children that are having developmental delays of some sort, and many of them are what we call on the spectrum and have various needs. And so each child is provided with the gold standard, which is applied behavioral analysis and education. And so we keep them with a curriculum that mimics what they would be doing in their regular classroom, but each one is paired one-on-one with a line tech. And a line tech is someone who helps support them in teaching them socialization, behavior management. We teach them self-soothing skills. So rather than a child just getting overstimulated in a loud restaurant, many times some of you may have seen children just throw themselves on the floor and have a tantrum. And
The parent of a 2-year-old, I've seen that a few times.
Yes, we all have. But some of the children are not able to grow out of that. And so we help them. We help them with that and how to teach self-soothing. So we have all kinds of activities. We have an indoor and outdoor pool. We have an indoor gym. We have an outdoor playground that's customized for their interest and needs. And there's so many wonderful activities for them to do. And then, of course, we have their lunchroom is simulated like a restaurant. They have the opportunity to come to our chapel to see what it's like to go to church. And we take them out in the community to various events and help them.
That's amazing. And so the Holy Angels facility sounds like it's a entire life journey that some people will go on.
Thank you. I like the way you said that, Corey, because in healthcare ease, we say a continuum where a family may say, okay, we'll come to school as a child. Later, maybe they choose to go to the day program. And then maybe even later, as their siblings go to college, many of them choose to come to Holy Angels for college.
Really?
And they look at it like that. And so they say, okay, I'm going to college now, and I'll be going to Holy Angels.
Wow.
And so we treat it just very similar, where they learn to have roommates and get along with others. And the families tell us that they are amazed at the skills that they learn and how much they advance in that environment. So we have about a $17 million budget.
Yeah.
We do receive government funding from Medicaid. However, the level of services, and I say the excellence that we provide, is not fully covered by Medicaid, and we understand that. We want to be way up here, and of course, we have a goal of being number one in the nation, and we raise the monies that are needed above what Medicaid provides to get the customized care plan for all that we serve. And right now we're serving about 200 plus individuals with developmental or intellectual disabilities or developmental delays. We have about 260 plus staff members.
Wow. Goodness, that's a lot of people.
Yes.
And so you said you want to be number one in the nation. So how do people come to Holy Angels? Like, is it just, I know a lot of people in Shreveport who know about it, they think this is probably just something that only people in Shreveport get to use, or there's probably other versions of Holy Angels other places. So is Holy Angels just like a Shreveport thing, or do people come from other places to Holy Angels?
I never knew this, but we have a national footprint. We have people from 14 states.
Wow.
And it amazes me that they find us, but they do. And we have a lot of people coming to us from East Texas and, of course, all over Louisiana. All over all the parishes, we have people that come.
Yeah.
And I think what the families tell us is that we are unique and that we're like a public-private combination where they're not having to pay out-of-pocket tuition, that Medicaid is supplementing that in a big way, but then we also put on top of that the generosity of the families, foundations, corporations, and the community at whole.
Yeah, that's great. And so, where do you see most people coming from?
Well, obviously from Caddo-Bossier is number one.
Yeah.
And we have a good relationship with the school systems. And so all of the DeSoto, Caddo, Webster, Bossier, they all come and bring their students. And they show them the program when they're a junior or senior. And then when they age out of the public system, then they can transition to the day program.
Okay. So were you saying that like people from those or kids from those schools can come and visit Holy Angels, like not just those with developmental disabilities, but
Well,
people?
mainly those with their what's called the special ed classes, and the teachers come, and sometimes the families will come for that initial tour and visit.
Yeah.
And they'll often bring their siblings too. So we want to be partners with the entire family, because when you join Holy Angels, you're joining a family. This is not something that we're here today and then you'll be, gone tomorrow. It is like you said, a lifetime commitment.
It's just, it is definitely one. I'm trying to think of how to say this. The just the joy that people have at Holy Angels is overwhelming. Like like whenever you talk about people who come there and then becoming a family and then leaving. Like having interacted with some of these people myself, it is the joy that these people have, even for a stranger, is overwhelming at times.
Corey, you have a depth of understanding. Obviously, when you experience that, I think that those who are open to God's presence and how He speaks to us through the beauty of nature and the beauty of people, they see when they come to Holy Angels that there's something about individuals with disabilities that have a connection to the divine. They see us without prejudice, without judgment, and they see each other in the same way. So no matter what an individual's physical disability is, to them, they're beautiful. They're all beautiful, and they're all friends. And it is, I think, seeing God through their eyes. You see the love of God expressed at Holy Angels through their eyes, and then also through the staff, because I say they're our heroes. They're the core. That is what the staff that work at Holy Angels, that's what makes us special. And these people are the heroes of our community because they come there to serve. They are the hands and feet of Christ.
Absolutely. And so with the joy that comes from those people and like the interaction with the community, do y'all, and I think you said you had a work program where people from Holy Angels can work in the community. Do y'all have,
Yes.
or I'm sure there is feedback from people who are, given the opportunity to work with these people? Like, do they have anything to say?
Oh, my goodness. So often, I just had a staff member tell me, and I'll give you an example. During the ice storm that we just recently had, Sunday, before it really hit, we had 20, 30 people come with their bags packed, ready to spend 2, 3, 4 nights there.
Wow.
And during Snowmageddon, we had the same thing. Many of our fathers went and picked them up. They came out. Rain, sleet, or snow, they come, and they are prepared to stay and to serve. And in many cases, they're leaving their own families on holidays to come and help us. And so it is a sacrifice of love for these staff members, and they are like surrogate friends and parents and grandparents, aunts and uncles for our residents. We have a big group of, I would say, about 40 residents who have either been removed from their family legally or their families have abandoned them. And so we do have people in the community. We have an Angel Buddy program where you can write cards and letters. As a matter of fact, I'm proud to say that I'm a member of Circle One and Methodist Women's Group. And Circle One adopted Ann and stayed with her and wrote her letters, sent her cards, and bought her gifts at Christmas and other holidays, and visited her and through her lifetime. And so Ann just recently passed away, but the church, the Seekers Sunday School class, has been very good to Holy Angels. Many of the Sunday school, we had another Sunday school class come out not long ago to plan a tour. So we invite the church to come and to see God's people at work.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of work, I always love the fact that the people from Holy Angels do work in the community. And I guess, could you let us know if it is, because work is beneficial for everyone. And
Absolutely.
So I'm sure these people aren't any different. So did they enjoy the thought of work or having a career of their own? Or what's their perception of having a job?
Can you imagine if someone told you at age 10 or 12, well, you'll never be able to work. You'll never be able to drive a car. All the things that they cannot do. And so we say, well, why not? They can work. And so it's our job to train them effectively in job readiness training and then to match them with other businesses, that we match the business and their needs with the individual in the work program. And so if they have a skill, like let's say they love culinary arts, well, they go into the culinary arts enterprise. So in our job training, which is our day program, we have enterprises. One is creative arts, where we include sewing, fine arts painting, block art, drawing, and we also have jewelry.
Yeah.
We have ceramics. The culinary arts includes making our famous lasagna, our Buddy Bites, which are organic dog treats. Then we also have biscotti. And our new product is our ice cream, our Howdy ice cream.
We were talking about that before we started.
Yes.
I am very excited to try this.
The ice cream is definitely delicious. It's gourmet ice cream. It's fresh. It's made by individuals with disabilities. And we're just proud to say that we just opened our store on Douglas Drive in Bossier. And we sell the ice cream on Overton Brooks in our gift shop, and then also in Bossier.
All right. And so, I'm sorry, did you say the address, or is it open yet?
I think it's 2820 Douglas Drive.
Okay.
And it's on a side street off of Airline near Lowe's.
Great location.
Great location. And let me tell you, the first week we sold out of lasagna. We had to start remaking ice cream and our cookies. And our cookies are the number one seller right now for culinary arts, but I believe that lasagna and the ice cream will give it a real run for that.
Nice. So everybody who wants a crumble cookie on Airline, you now have a new place to go.
That's right. That's right.
Have you tried crumble cookie before?
I have not. Yes.
Not trying to take business away from Holy Angels,
That's okay.
but it is good.
Well, I'm not a big
cookie.
Sweets person,
Okay.
But I can honestly admit that the ice cream has got me.
I believe it.
What I love about it is it's so it's made with great ingredients where it satisfies your taste. You don't have to eat a bucket of ice cream. This ice cream is gourmet, and we have 14 different flavors.
Okay.
Our flavor that we're featuring right now is, of course, Mardi Gras King Cake. We partnered with Louders. We have their King Cake in the ice cream.
Okay.
And one of my favorites is Lemon Crunch, and I really like the slight taste of lemon in the ice cream. But the
Nice.
greatest thing is that we're only going to be employing people with developmental disabilities to work as the staff in the location. They're called our heroes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a fun business, and we have people working to produce the ice cream, to package it, to sell it, and to scoop it. So it's a lot of jobs, and we're just getting started.
I love it.
So we're expecting big things, and then of course, we cross brand and cross market our products. So all the products that are related to ice cream, like special T-shirts or bowls, ice cream bowls, are made. Customized pieces that are made in our ceramics enterprise.
Oh, wow.
Our religious items are very important, and many people in the church have supported us in purchasing our crosses, our blessing bowls. Our faith is demonstrated through some of the products that we make and sell.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite things, the residents will come, the day program participants will come, and they'll pick out a scripture that they would like to write, and they'll write it on a card. They practice their writing skills. They write it on a card. We frame it, and then we sell that scripture to the public. And I have several in my house, and it's really inspirational to see that.
I'm sure. So when it comes to like scripture and stuff like that, are there like biblical or like Bible education for special needs people, or?
Yes.
Okay.
So we have a spiritual care committee that's at the board level. That's how important the spiritual care is for Holy Angels. We also have 2 residents who are teaching Bible study
Oh, wow.
on Fridays to the other participants. They're using a children's Bible, and I'd also like to invite any volunteers from the church that would like to come to take part in that, to come and tell a Bible story. And when you see their faith in action, these individuals worship without question. And they have a faith that is just incredibly inspirational. And I'll give you an example. When we had the big windstorm and all the trees fell, we had a miracle that took place at Holy Angels, truly, because we had about 14 huge 80, 90-foot tall pine trees that fell, some of them a foot from our buildings or houses.
Goodness.
The next morning, I arrived on campus, and Aaron, one who teaches Bible, he said, "Miss Laurie, did you know that we had a big storm?" I said, "Yes, I did." He said, "Did you see these trees?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "It was so scary last night." I said, "What did you do?" He said, "We all got together and we prayed."
Wow.
And then we went to sleep. And we woke up and we looked out the window and we saw the trees that fell near our buildings, and we knew that Jesus had his arms around us. And he said he kept us safe.
Wow. Goodness. I mean, it's kind of hard to deny that testimony. That is very much
Powerful.
a Jesus in the boat situation. Where
Absolutely.
they were the opposite of the disciples, where they understood where their faith and their help was.
Yes, yes. And he told me not long ago, I said, what's your favorite Bible story? And he said, "Can you imagine that you could walk up to the Red Sea and say, 'Sea, depart,' and God just makes it happen through a man?" And so through them, it brings our faith to life.
I love it. Oh, man. And
The other, I think, important thing that we're doing is ministering to our staff. And many of our staff are individuals who are caring for 2 or 3 generations in their homes. Several of them, many, are really working 2 jobs. I watch them and their struggles, and I hear about what they're having to deal with, and then I see how they serve. And it is humbling to me. I will say, it's hard to come to Holy Angels and complain
Yes.
about your life and how great we have it, it gives you a perspective of the blessings that we have. And so we started Angel University several years ago, where it's a training program where we pay our staff to train. And every time they get a new certification, they move up their career ladder and they get increases in pay. So I want them to see this as not a job, but it's a career. It's a mission. It's a passion.
Yeah.
And so we want to pay them a living wage to be part of this great mission.
I love that. And you mentioned the people who come there, they might not have had experience with these people before. And it brings up another thought I often have of how do you get people comfortable with people with mental disabilities? Because some people are just, they meet someone with a mental disability and they don't know how to interact with them, or they don't know what's appropriate or what to do. So when you see people who come on staff, like, is there an adjustment period, or like, how do you see their perspective of these people change?
So one thing that's different is we're not dealing necessarily with people with mental health disorders. It's different in the developmental delays and the developmental and intellectual disabilities. And so what you will see is many of those with developmental disabilities have what we call impulse control issues, and they're frustrated oftentimes, like we would be, if we could not express our feelings, our needs, our preferences. And so a lot of it comes through frustration. And so I had never worked with individuals with disabilities before, ever. And when I came, I saw immediately that it's really a combination of teaching and training and caring and patience, and obviously psychology and the social services and that type of training is very important. And I have learned so much from the training that we've done at Holy Angels. And so I think training, what we say is hire the smile, and by that I mean hire the heart, that depth of understanding that you've expressed. If we hire someone who wants to do good and be part of an organization that's not just producing widgets, as we say, but working to change lives and to be part of a family, the Holy Angels family, then we will train them. And that's why Angel University, I think, is so important.
And Angel University, what is that?
That's where we're training our staff to have career opportunities. And so let's say that you have a high school diploma. You're working at fast food, and you think, okay, I want to do something different in my life to make a difference, just kind of like what I felt. And so they will come apply, and if we can see that expression of that understanding and that desire to do good, and we will train them, and we want to. And so we're looking at the Spanish-speaking community, all of the communities throughout the city. We are working with many African-American churches to recruit staff to come in. We have a whole host of job opportunities, and we actually have one individual who has met with about 30 pastors to recruit staff from their churches.
Oh, nice. I love that. So we didn't rehearse this at all before, so I don't know, or I understand if you don't have anyone in mind, but do you have anyone off the top of your head who's gone through something like Angel University to elevate their career?
Yeah, so I'll tell you a story of a staff member. Her name is Queen. She retired, but when she was there, she immediately said, we started out with computer training. What is a mouse? How do you plug in a computer? This is a computer. And she told me, she came by my office one day after she had been in Angel University working and studying and training. And she said, you know, no one ever believed in me that I could really learn to use a computer. And I didn't think I could. But you told me that I could. And so I do think that I went to the class originally and said, we believe in you, and we believe that we want to elevate your skill, because in healthcare today, you have to be able to document on the computer. And so it's a whole new day with healthcare support individuals. So Queen studied. She became a certified medication administrator. That's where she learned to administer medication. She learned how to use the computer. And she came by my office about 6 months later, and she said, do you know that this has changed my life, because I'm able now to help my grandchildren with their homework. Not only can I help them with their homework, which has to be done on the computer, but guess what, Miss Laurie? I can play video games with my grandchildren now, and they think I'm pretty cool.
I love that. That is quite the journey from not knowing how to use a computer to playing video games with your grandkids.
I'm telling you. So that's just an example. Today, we have individuals who just have said over and over and over again. I had one during the ice storm when I thanked her for coming. She said, I have had so much sadness here recently in my family that Holy Angels lifts me. And if I can get here, I know that helping others will help me work through my grief. And so not only is it earning a living wage and learning new things, but it's also the opportunity to really get outside yourself and to feel that sense of fulfillment.
Yeah, I love it. It's just so much that y'all are doing that's great for the people that go to attend Holy Angels, that work at Holy Angels. Obviously, the community is impacted in many ways, so thank you so much for what you're doing. And so you mentioned you wanted to eventually be the #1 place for special needs in the country.
Yes.
So what is the pathway that you envision getting there? How do you feel led to get to that point?
Number one, we look at best practices. So if we see that an organization is excelling in certain areas, we will go and visit them. I've traveled to several and brought back ideas, and then we implement them. Number two, we feel that national recognition for what we're doing would be the proof that we're working that vision. And so we did receive a national award for our Angel University.
Okay.
And we went to Chicago and received the Career Stat Champion Award for building frontline workers. And I went there, received the award along with Beth Israel Hospital and Brigham and Women's and other big organizations and Little Holy Angels. But we are very proud of that. In addition to that, we were chosen by the Lieutenant Governor several years ago to participate in a competition, and they chose 20 nonprofits. We went to Baton Rouge once a month. We studied strategic planning and business plan development. We developed a plan for our day program, and then we had to compete by presenting our plan to these executives who sit in different national foundations that award grants. And we won.
Wow.
And so we have that award. And then the national, the Louisiana Association of Nonprofits several years ago gave us the award of Nonprofit of the Year. And I've received different awards for fundraising, for just a variety of different awards through the work that Holy Angels is doing. So we feel like that national, state, and regional recognition is moving us toward, is showing that we are moving towards accomplishing our vision.
Yes, I love it. And so, with the recognition that's going to come and hopefully eventually getting to that number one status, would Holy Angels need to like expand as a facility to like meet the need? Like, would that mean that more people would be coming to Holy Angels to live on campus, or what does that look like?
So our strategic plan going forward is one of building excellence and programmatic enhancements for things that we're doing now. I think that the big step was initially to formalize the day program and then to add the supported employment where we train people and get them jobs out in the community. And then the enterprises, the franchise purchase of the ice cream and expanding out our retail. And then lastly, the school. And so right now we want to excel in all those areas in addition to great residential care and helping people find joy and comfort and safety through the end of their life. And so I feel like that we're not needing to change or evolve. I think that we have a good foundation to build on, and I think we're on the road to doing just that. And I will say that another part of the fulfillment of working at Holy Angels is there's a lot of professional freedom and fulfillment in that we're able to work with the board to structure a plan and then actually execute it. And so many times strategic planners will come in, and I was part of a strategic planning team for Christus, and oftentimes organizations will build a plan and then it just goes into a binder on a shelf. But we're actually implementing and executing with excellence our strategic plan. And that will be to touch the lives of individuals in our community and beyond with excellence, whether it's early childhood intervention, whether it is the residential care, the day program with their jobs. And I just feel like that the different components that we're putting in place will stand strong for Holy Angels' image and success. And really, our success is judged by the happiness of those that we serve, the fulfillment, the skills training that they're receiving, and the advancement of those skills.
Well, that definitely sounds like a way to be number one for sure. And I feel like we would be incomplete if we didn't talk about one of the things that I love about Holy Angels, which is the Taste of Shreveport.
Yes, let's talk about that.
Because that's how I first learned about Holy Angels. And I think, that's where we got at least 2 pieces of art from Holy Angels was from the Taste of Shreveport. And so...
Well, I think it's interesting that you got the art from the auction. And I think that I do know this, that the products and services that we produce have an intrinsic value. And that they're really those individuals in the community who secure those products. It translates our mission into the hearts of those who have the painting or have that cross and who has that cross. And so I think that's number one, is to see that individuals with disabilities are fun to work with and rewarding to those individuals are really great people to work with. And so it helps the community at large to say, okay, let's change the way the world views individuals with disabilities. And that's already happening, and we're definitely part of that. So that's real important to have them at the event, to see the choir perform, and to see what they can produce, which is high quality art and other products. So the Taste is coming up in September.
Okay.
And this year is going to be bigger and better. We had over 1,500 people attend last year, and we're expecting even more in September for 2024. Now, in April, we have the Angel Run, and so we invite families to come out, whether you want to run or just come for the party. We encourage everyone to come out to experience the beauty, the spiritual tranquility of our beautiful campus, to see the community at large supporting Holy Angels. And then, of course, we stand for healthy lifestyles. So we want everyone to stay active and to be healthy. And so many people will come and say, okay, I'm not going to do the 5K. They might purchase their packet, their race packet, but they'll have children and they'll just walk a little ways and come back.
Yeah.
And the runners, move pretty fast. So once the starting sound goes, they're back within 20 or 30 minutes. And after all the runners and walkers come back, we have this tremendous party with food. We have, in the past, we've had puppet shows, petting zoo. We have bounce houses, face painting, the ice cream, and all kinds of fun things for families to do in a real safe and fun environment.
I love it. Cannot wait for both of those things. And so, are there members of Holy Angels who run the 5K?
Oh, yes, there are. So they have teams. We have actually a weightlifting team. And we have champions in Special Olympics. We have one young lady who can, she's just amazing what she can lift from a deadlift, a squat, and we have a whole team. We have a basketball team. We have cheerleaders.
Good.
We have a bike riding team. We're starting a scouting team, a scouting troop, and they begin practicing they practice all year in their endurance. But as the weather starts to clear in the next few weeks, they'll begin their training for the 5K.
Wow.
So we have a group that actually runs, and they do a great job.
Man, cannot wait to see that. Because, I feel like I fall into that spot a little bit as well sometimes, where you don't know what these people are capable of, or even if they want to do it.
That's right.
And so to hear that they enjoy running a 5K, they enjoy basketball, weightlifting, and all that stuff is always.
So anything that we desire, they're just like us in that they just need a little bit of help in their skills, and often with money management. And so it's important. I think it's really a great opportunity at both events, Angel Run and Taste, to see individuals with disabilities integrated in the community. And oftentimes we'll have businesses call us after the event and say, we'd like to hire one of your day program participants to come and work. And we have people working at Hurd McElroy,
Really?
accounting. We have someone working at University Vet, counterculture. Taziki's has two individuals working, and both of those, in both cases, they're able to answer the phone. They ring up the sale. They'll ring you up, take your money, everything. And I was there the other day, and she told me, don't forget, Miss Laurie, that you have points that you can use in your next purchase. So they're just great, loyal employees, and they're always on time. They're always happy to work. They know the value of work. They have a great work ethic. And the employers tell us that they build their team up because they motivate their team. You see someone, in spite of their physical disabilities, struggling to walk maybe or to do certain things, and they're committed to doing that. And so it helps the rest of your team say, okay, I can do it too.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so it'll supercharge anyone that's working around them.
Well, good. And so if anybody has a business that wants to be supercharged, how can they
Yes.
reach out to you to have someone come and work with them?
Call Holy Angels. We have job coaches.
Okay.
We have a director who is a retired special ed teacher who has an expertise in breaking jobs down into simple tasks to train the individual. They will come to work with them, send a job coach, and then over time, as that individual is performing well, they fade out. The coaching fades, and they work independently, and we transport them to work.
Wow.
So it's a win-win for Holy Angels and the business community.
That's amazing. Well, so we've got the Taste of Shreveport in September, Angel Run in April. Is there anything else that we missed or anything you want to talk about that we haven't touched on?
Well, coming up in March, we have the Most Influential Woman Award and
okay.
banquet, and that will be at Eastridge. I will tell you that Virginia K. Sheehy was a real hero to Holy Angels. She helped in so many ways. She's a great philanthropist, but she also gave of her time and her leadership skill to help Holy Angels. And so the Sheehy family chose Holy Angels as the beneficiary of the event. And each year we honor women who give back to the community through their work, not as being an employee of their work, but a volunteer who gives of their time and their self, volunteering to serve the community. So it's a great event, and you can see all that on our website, www.laholyangels.org.
Okay.
And I do want to take a moment to thank First Methodist for their support and their generous support in helping us do just that, and that is change how the world views people with disabilities and to honor the heroes that served them.
Well, we thank you for your service as well.
Thank you, Corey. Thank you so much for having me today.
I've enjoyed it. All right, guys, we will see y'all next time.